Well, so I'm from Yonkers, New York, and grew up in much different circumstances. Now, she grew up in a middle class, a house, gardens, yard, all that kind of stuff. I grew up in the housing projects of Yonkers, and was the only child for about 9 years, and I have a younger sister, and it was different for me. It was a lot of fighting in the house when I was growing up between my mother and father. My father was an alcoholic, and so I just couldn't wait to get out of that situation. I couldn't wait to get out of that house. Even at 9 years old, I was saying, "How old I got to be to get out of here?"
Yeah.
And so, that's true. And so it was a different kind of environment. I think that it was. I could have went one or two ways. There was a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, even back then in that area. And but I was lucky enough to go to a good school, and it was a Catholic high school, and it wasn't a lot of tuition, so I was able to go. And I was kind of mentored by a track coach. He saw I could outrun anybody in the school, and he wanted me to be on a track team. And I sort of followed that direction. I loved sports and athletics, and I kind of followed that direction. But that helped me to get out of the projects, out of Yonkers, into a school on a track scholarship where everything was covered, and so went to Adelphi University in Long Island, New York, on a full scholarship, and graduated in 4 years. Along the way, I became an entrepreneur. I started.
Tell about the parties.
I did some parties.
What were they called?
Well, some of them were called cold duck parties. That's what you remember. Party. There's a bottle of cold duck. Come in there, get a bottle of cold duck, right?
I used to go to those parties. I went to the parties at Howard, and you were throwing them at Adelphi.
I was throwing them at Adelphi, right? And so we did about 40 parties in 4 years just to pay for ourselves. Because there was no money coming in. Even though you're on scholarship, you do need to eat. You need some things. So there were four of us, and we ran these things. They were very successful, and that whetted my appetite for being an entrepreneur. And so we started Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity at Adelphi, brand new chapter. So a founding member of a new chapter at Adelphi. So that was amazing. So went on.
Show me the handshake, baby. Show me the handshake.
Show
me the handshake.
I can't really show you.
Show me
I'll show you later.
No, you won't.
No, it's like you can't show the handshake. It's a secret handshake. Only between alphas, baby. Did you join the sorority?
No, you find me.
Too bad for you. So look. So then I went to work for a company called Mutual of New York, and which was an insurance company. It's now defunct. But at that time, it was a large company. It was a national company. It was a national company. And in 1975, I believe, I was Rookie of the Year. So all the first year salespeople that were hired in that year, I was the number one. And had a great office in Manhattan, right across the street from Bloomingdale's, overlooking North Manhattan and Queens. It was an amazing place. I loved life. I loved that life. I loved going to the office. I go to the office for anything, And it was 24/7 access. I had parties there on the weekend. That's a whole nother story.
Oh my God.
Did that, but I had to. I knew that it wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't something that was in my heart to do. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the bravest decisions of my life at that time was to say, you know what? I don't know what I want to do in life, but I know that this is not it. So I had to leave. Mm-hmm. And when I left, now see, this people, I can't believe I'm saying this on a podcast, but I basically became a hippie. And, it's true, right? What's true is true.
What is a hippie?
A hippie is somebody who just kind of hangs out and and drinks.
I don't even know if they know. Don't even use that term anymore.
Okay, so let me not use the term. So let me just say that I got a tent and a sleeping bag, and I had a car, and I just began to drive around the United States of America with a big old beard, and I go from state park to state park, and whatever state I happen to be in, I go from there. And in Canada, I went across Canada several times. I was in Provincial Park in Canada to Provincial Park. So for a year and a half of my life, I lived outside by choice. I lived outside, mostly in wooded areas, and really it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it was the bravest decision of my life when I left that company that I was doing very well financially with, in my family, I was probably doing better than anybody else in the family, or
And then what did you
close
do?
to it. And so you got to make the decision.
Right.
This is not what I
For you to do
envision
that
myself to
as
do.
the first
This
in your
is not
family.
making me happy, you know? And so many people stay in their jobs because they're making money at the job, but it's not making them happy. I don't care if you're a physician, but you really want to be a mechanic. You can't be happy as a physician when what you really want to be is a mechanic.
Right.
And that's where I was. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just left.